This episode is for Friday, April 10th, 2015. Welcome, Meteor fans. I'm your host, your bearded host with the mostest beard, I guess, Josh Owens, along with my co-host.
The unbearded Rye Walker.
Nice. Back from vacation land.
Yeah, you too, right?
Yeah. It was an interesting vacation. It's nice to get away.
Yeah. Mine too. Well, you were just a little bit further north, I think, than me.
Yeah. You guys went to where'd you go? You went to
Hilton Head.
That's it.
Yeah. I think it's like so. It was nice. It was kind of cool in the beginning of the week and got a little bit warmer by the end. So it was nice. I liked it.
Nice. Yeah, that place is probably pretty nice in the spring. I know for me, like the one time I've been to Hilton Head was in the summer, like middle of July. Hot as heck there, man.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, it got kind of steamy by the end, and it's only March, or I guess it was just turning April, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine was weird. Like I had a client demo that happened Monday, and it was supposed to be Thursday while we were on vacation, and it worked out because I was in Charlotte, the client's in Charlotte, and then I don't know, just wasn't enough done to be impressive. So we pushed it back, and I was furiously working every night after the kids went to bed. So
that sucks.
It happens.
Yeah.
The life of freelancers, I guess.
That's right. Life of feeding yourself, right?
Indeed. All right. So this week we are talking about Meteor 1.1, tectonic shifting, Facebook acquiring Meteor Polymer, and NoSQL. All right. So I don't know. It was interesting because we went on vacation right when all the big this week's been kind of a slow news week for Meteor, but last week was big.
Yeah.
So I pulled a couple stories from last week too. And the biggest one being 1.1 came out, a day before. It was March 30th or March 31st they released it. So felt like they were almost teeing us up for April Fool's jokes or something.
Yeah.
Have you used Meteor 1.1 yet?
Let me think. I think we are. Let me see. I'm pretty sure we're using it right now. Yeah. I mean, we just upgrade whenever they come out now, and we haven't had no problems doing that lately.
Yeah, I feel like maybe that's the real story of this update, right? For people that have been using Meteor, it's almost like nothing happened. You typed Meteor update and everything still works. I don't even notice mini stat, right? That's probably a really good thing.
Yep. Yeah. So cat release 1102. Yeah, I'm using 1.1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even a thought. Yeah, so I mean, there's some big things in here. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'd highly recommend going and watching the mini sat talk that David Greenspan gave. Yes, Greenspan. I always get the Davids mixed up. That's a great talk, and that got shipped in here, right? So I think maybe if you were running into weird edge case problems with packages getting installed, that should be completely resolved now because they have an industrial strength constraint solver in place. And that was kind of cool too because the open source solver was written in C++, but he used some kind of cross compiler to get it to work with JavaScript. So I thought that was kind of cool. And they're supporting 3.0 and 2.6 officially with Mongo now, so that's awesome. I don't know if they've gone in and done anything specific. Dogs are barking. I don't know if they've done anything specific to wire anything up for 3.0. I didn't look too closely there, but I mean I know it works, right? And that's interesting.
Yeah, I know people were saying they were using Meteor with 3.0 before that, so maybe just officially flip that switch.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think it was just more they tried it and it worked, and they probably spent a little more time making sure nothing looked broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then I guess the biggest thing was really something that we don't care about, which is Windows support, right?
Yeah.
I haven't used Windows in forever, so.
Yep. I mean, I think the two main things were Mongo 3 and Windows, and I don't know, like it'll be interesting to see how that affects the community.
Well, so I don't know if you saw, I think it was either on the forum or a tweet or something, but Matt DeBergalis posted something about the stats for like developers connecting to, I'm assuming meteor.com or something. Somehow they know the machine that you're on when you connect to Atmosphere or the package manager somewhere. And, it looked like it was like a tripie there split into three pieces. And I don't know, if I had to guess, I'd say like Windows is like 25% of that pie.
Okay. Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive.
And that's what was it before the release? Was it lower, or they didn't say?
They didn't say. They didn't show like a growth or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I figure a lot of Windows developers are probably using a lot of Windows developers are using Meteor through like a VM, and now they don't have to do that. So, I think partially it's just making it more convenient for the Meteor people using Meteor in Windows already.
Yeah.
But it should bring some more people in that were like maybe pissed off that it was so damn hard to use it before, for them.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is I don't know that I had someone email me today and he wanted to know, like, have I deployed to Windows yet? And like, no, actually I haven't tried to build for Windows. Like that's kind of weird. So he's like working on a Mac, but then he wants to deploy to a Windows environment. I'm like, I got no idea, man. I'm sorry. Good luck with that. Let me know if you find a solution.
You said go to forum.meteor. Ask it there.
Yeah. All right. Let's do the next story.
All right. Next story. We are talking about tectonics, or tectonic to be more specific.
Yeah.
So the Tectonic platform is a offering from CoreOS. So again, this is pretty technical, like that I barely understand it. The word Kubernetes is in this. That makes the news story pretty fun because that's a fun word to say. Kubernetes is I don't even know how to describe Kubernetes. It's basically a way to deal with Linux containers. Kind of related to Docker. I don't know if it actually is Docker or Docker's inside of it. One of those is.
I think Docker can run inside Kubernetes.
Yeah. Go to Kubernetes.io if you want to find out more about it. But it's funny, like I keep hearing Kubernetes, like all over the place, and it's but basically CoreOS, which is they're launching a hosting platform called Tectonic that obviously leverages Kubernetes and is a kind of a next generation hosting platform. So it's a beta sign up. Have you signed up for the beta yet, Josh?
I have not. I'll be honest. Like I have not played with Docker, or honestly, I haven't played with CoreOS either, or Kubernetes. So kind of behind the times there. I want to take a weekend and learn it, but
yeah. I mean, I think that Modulus uses CoreOS now. And they actually hosted the Kubernetes talk here in Cincinnati. And so like they're doing some of this stuff. I don't know that they're using Kubernetes, but they're at least, I know they're using Docker all over the place now.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, like basically it's another way to do deployment. This platform, it could be a good option to host Meteor. I don't know if anyone is yet, considering this is beta at this point, but if you're into that kind of stuff and hadn't heard of this, yet another option emerges. And actually, Josh, you have this big blog post on how to host on Meteor, so I guess you'll have to watch this and maybe add this.
Yeah, definitely. So I just got my drip campaign set back up. So when you sign up for the mailing list, I think the second or third email that you get references the blog post. And so I've been getting a lot of people replying, and some of them are like, oh, hey, you should check out Docker, or, play with this or play with that, check out Scalingo. So I think I'm definitely going to have to make that post bigger. And
Yeah,
definitely got to learn some there.
you got to add windows to that, right?
Someday. Clearly not there yet.
I mean, the interesting part about this post too is like, so CoreOS is a company. They just got acquired. They just got invested. They basically simultaneously announced that they're doing this hosting platform, and they raised $12 million from Google Ventures together. Like that announcement just happened, and it's ironically close to the amount of money that Meteor raised. You know, to do. So I mean,
yeah, in the first round, yeah.
Yeah, well, so there's I don't know. It's tricky. Like actually, during the talk, I was thinking about like how high the bar is for Meteor for what they have to do with Galaxy, because you have to like catch up to lots of stuff. But you know, like if it's not better than Tectonic, would you use it? You know, like so. And I don't even know what Tectonic is, but I know that these are some pretty smart people building probably some pretty sweet shit. And
well, I think with Galaxy, you'll get a little more hand holding, right? Like everyone, like the other thing I hear a lot of is when people type Meteor deploy, you know, they're amazed at how easy that is to deploy something. And I think they want to, you know, encapsulate that into Galaxy, and they're using Docker and Kubernetes as well under the hoods from what I've heard. But, you know, I definitely think they're going to try to bring that ease of deployment and apply what they know about hosting Meteor itself to, you know, kind of an automated environment that people can use. So,
yeah, it's tricky. I mean, like it has to be simple on the surface, yet, you know, underneath
flexible.
the surface, yeah, it's got to be, you know, auto scaling. You know, like if it doesn't do auto scaling, for example, that would be a miss in my boat. You know, like if it's simple, it should just like automatically deal with my load, you know, magically, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would love to see from them. So like the simplest possible thing, which, you know, it's not totally simple. So anyways, Meteor hosting is a thing, and we have another entrant potentially in it. Someone should try this out. Love to see a blog post from somebody this upcoming week on how they tested it.
Oh yeah, nice. I bet Aaron is the one that posted this. He's like, is this going to be like a Galaxy killer? I don't know. He said something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I don't even know if like you can get into this yet. It might be a big waiting list. So
yeah. All right. So moving on. Facebook acquiring Meteor.
That happened, right?
Yeah, that totally happened. You know, I need to go back. So I wrote this post, and it was like I was on vacation, and I was like, man, tomorrow's April 1st. I want to do something funny related to Meteor because I've got a big community. I think they get a kick out of it, right? And so I started kicking around ideas, and everyone's like, oh, you should say something about Microsoft buying Meteor. And then I'm like, well, it's like obviously a joke if I do that, right? And but I think I can scare a lot more people if I do like Facebook acquiring Meteor. And so I didn't like deeply think it out, but then I started writing down all the connections I knew happening between Meteor and Facebook, and I was like, oh crap, this is actually like a thing that could happen. This is weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Like, so Mark Andreessen's on the board at Facebook, and he's also, I don't know if he's on the board at Meteor, but he's definitely the lead investor, and he sits down when they come in. He talks to them, you know, so that's kind of weird. And then they've hired Ben Newman from Facebook to work at Meteor, and he's into the pushing for the new ECMA ES6 standards and trying to get all that working with Meteor as well. And so, yeah, there were a lot of connections, and, you know, I try to at least be funny with some of the quotes and whatnot. And I emailed Matt ahead of time, and I'm like, well, I just want to give you a heads up. I think I'm going to do this. Would it make you guys really mad? And he's like, well, it might be awkward because we might have to, like, say something to people, like, we're not really being acquired.
Yeah. So you went ahead and did it anyway.
I did. You know, I wrote the thing, and it was funny, and I kept just trying to make it funnier, and I don't know. It was a lot of fun.
So did you fool some people? What was the
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, you should totally check out the comments on this thing. 'Cause one guy posted a comment, and it's just a picture of a bunny going, "No." Everyone's like, "Oh my god, I was so scared." And then I saw it was a joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then I kid you not, I was in a meeting this week, and someone's like, they're telling me like, "Oh, I thought I saw on my feed like Facebook just acquired Meteor."
Yeah. Yeah. People don't see it on the first day. Like,
Yeah. So now I gotta like go put like a joke in the title, and
that's funny.
yeah.
That's like, so speaking of April Fool's Day, I forget are you on Reddit much, Josh?
Yeah,
Do you use
not as
Reddit?
much anymore. Like people got annoyed that I was like posting creator stuff to Reddit, and so like after I stopped doing that, I stopped hanging out there as much.
So you excommunicated yourself.
Yeah, I guess so.
So on April Fool's Day, they have this thing called The Button. Have you seen that? Like, if you're not paying attention to Reddit, you might not see that. But like, there was a button. It was just do you know what I'm talking about at all?
No, I have no idea.
All right. So like, there's the button, and it's just basically a button that's like, if you press it, the timer resets to 60 seconds, and it's just counting down, right? No one knows what the button does. 600,000 people have pressed the button. You get flare, like different color. Like if you're in 50 to 60 seconds, you're a purple, and then you're blue if you're in the next 10th. And this has been going on since April Fool's Day, and like people are like, "What the? Like what is this? The button?" I thought it was just like an April Fool's Day joke, but now it's like, I don't know how many days are we? 10 days later, it still hasn't hit 60 seconds. Like, so someone pressed that button, and that was my other big April Fool's Day thing. And now it's like still an obsession. Like, so I go there all the time and watch the countdown. And
Nice.
Yeah, check that out if you guys haven't seen that. It's a pretty crazy internet phenomenon. So.
Yeah, there were some funny ones I heard about. Like BMW put an ad in the paper that said like, "Bring in your car and your keys, and we'll take it as trade-in and give you a brand new, $50,000 BMW." And so, like, everyone probably reads this and goes, it's April 1st, whatever.
Yeah.
Some lady took it in and gave them her old beater, and they gave her a brand new BMW.
What? It wasn't a joke.
Yeah. Jokes on everyone else.
Oh man.
And then did you see the dash button from Amazon?
No.
That came out April Fool's as well, April 1st. And like, it's this button that you can put somewhere. Like you put it next to your laundry machine, and it's just a Tide button. And when you hit it, it uses your local internet to order more Tide straight off Amazon.
Bounty your Tide. Does it actually work?
Yeah, it's a legit thing apparently.
Oh,
they released it on April 1st.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
there's somebody else released a product on April 1st in the past. I was reading about this. Can't think who it was. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty good stuff. All right, let's go to the next story. We're so far off topic now.
We are.
April Fool's Day. Facebook acquires Meteor.
Meteor Polymer.
Let's talk about Meteor Polymer. So this is kind of cool. This is, as you know, I'm using Polymer day to day with UserCycle, and this product, I don't know if it's a package.
Yeah,
I guess it is a package. All right, this package lets you use pure Polymer on the front end instead of Blaze and space-bars, which I've thought about this. Like, that would be kind of an interesting world versus like mixing it together. It always feels to me wrong to mix Blaze and some other big front end, and so Blaze plus Polymer equals lots of overlap, right? Mm-hmm. Blaze plus React is lots of overlap. Blaze plus Angular is overlap. So this strips out Blaze and spaceBars, and you just use pure Polymer on the front end, which would be similar to like using pure React with a Meteor back end. The problem with that is there's there are probably some components that some Polymer components that you'd want to use, because the Polymer way of getting to data is through a component, mm-hmm. That's the way it works. So that's kind of the data pattern. So I don't know who this is. Johan. I don't know Johan. Holmgren from Sweden. he actually is using our differential vulcanized package, which does some of the work, but he's actually gone ahead and implemented a system where you can just use pure polymer front end, Meteor back end. And I'm going to test this out. I mean, we're pretty far down the road on user cycles, so probably wouldn't like do this, but it's kind of interesting to see how. So the cool thing about like using pure polymer front end is it's literally a static website, so you can host it like on a CDN.
Well, that's an interesting point though, because when you think about Meteor, it is technically a static website as well, right?
Yeah.
Because all it is HTML, JS, and CSS, and then it makes a DDP connection back to start pulling data over.
Yep. And that's basically what this does, but obviously without any of the Blaze. The thing is, like, Polymer has loop. It has a lot of the same stuff that Blaze has. It has the same. I mean, they're pretty. To me, they're kind of similar. They're just different. One's an HTML standard, one's kind of a JavaScript framework. But
so I guess the weird part, right? And this is a weird thing for me too with React. It looks like down here he's got like Meteor status, Meteor collection, Meteor subscribe. These look like HTML tags that you put in, and you use those. And I don't know, that seems weird to me.
That's the thing. You have to understand the Polymer way to understand how this stuff works.
Well, I remember the days of putting my database queries in my PHP templates. I don't remember liking that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this is more of like a component that creates the functionality. Like you don't just include JavaScript tags or JavaScript files in Polymer. You include a component that would include the JavaScript for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the idea is, like, I guess the theory would be, and I don't know if it'll work, but the theory would be with Polymer is that, like, there are people who design components, and then there are the commoners who use components, and just can compose an app from all these things. That's the whole promise of components. Well, I mean, you can use components to modularize your code too, but if you're kind of a lower level developer with a few Polymer tags, you can turn a otherwise completely static site into a site with some functionality. Like, I always like to use the idea of like a MailChimp form. Like, you could have a MailChimp tag that does that little bit of JavaScript that MailChimp gives you, or Google Analytics. Like, most websites have static websites have just a little bit of interactivity, like a form or a Google form or something like that just requires a little bit of programming. But so I don't know. I think that it is definitely the Polymer is a different thing than all the other things, because everything's done with HTML tags. All functionality is added and configured with that. So unless you're building a component, in which case you have straight up JavaScript inside that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's it's something worth checking out if you're messing around with Polymer and it's still very early and there aren't too many like pure Polymer developers, I wouldn't think, in the world yet. But if you happen to be one of those and you stumble across Meteor, this would be very cool for you.
Yeah, I bet.
Yep.
All right. And one other note, I think next week we'll talk about it, but there was a release called Blaze Components. So it's a package. And I think we can dive into that next week. Man, these trains, like,
what nice train you got there.
Yeah, we've hit an all-time high during the show, I think. All right. So the last story here is NoSQL injection and why you should stop allowing that to happen. So, I think everybody knows about maybe they don't, the audit argument package, which has audit argument checks is what it's called. And it's got this little method that you can use on the server side called check. And so this is from, who wrote this? Pete Corey, sorry, wrote this. And he's been putting out little blog posts. They're pretty good. I like this one. And he talks through the fact that usually, we think about the Meteor methods and we put the audit argument checks there, but, you need to do it on your publish functions as well. And you need to make sure that what's getting passed in is what you think it is, right? So, for instance, if you want someone to send along a string to do a search, they're going to say, they want to search for, green beans in your local marketplace app, and you want to return all the green beans. Let's say you take that as part of your publication as an argument there. Someone can send along an object instead, right? Just a little JSON looking object, JavaScript object that has, $ greater than equal with an empty string. And all of a sudden it's just going to send everything back from your database. So you thought you were being secure, and reality, Joe Script Kitty there just got your entire database and pulled a LinkedIn on you or something and exposing everyone's passwords. Who knows? So yeah, I mean, you just install this package, and then in the publication function, you just run a check, and you check that variable is a string rather than an object, and that should keep you relatively safe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Are you exposed? Who's exposed? Are any of your apps exposed for this? Any of the programming you would have done?
Me? No, not at all. I'm always secure, right?
Yeah. I tuned out for a second there. Is this something that affects everybody? Is this something I should be reading and changing some adding this?
If you're in production, you should definitely have audit argument check in place. Yes.
Okay, is that the only? Okay, so the audit. So this is really the argument to say use that package.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Such a great README on this guy. This package is empty. Its presence is detected by live data. Oh, that's interesting. They just look for the package in live data, but the code all lives in live data. So I'm pretty sure it'll throw you an error or a warning or something if you're not using check calls and you have this package installed.
Oh, I see.
Check calls everywhere. It should warn you at least about that. And then, this to me goes hand in hand with the last podcast we did. We talked about the browser policy as well. I think we had someone, Rishi filled in for you last time. But that's another good one too. You should install that and configure it because Superfish was trying to insert things onto the Athena page when viewers went there. And so if you didn't listen to that episode, you should go back and listen and understand what that package will do for you as well. But good stuff.
So there's a check package in Meteor, and then the audit arguments check just checks to make sure you're using the check package to check your stuff. Is that what
it makes sure that you have check calls wherever you have methods taking arguments on the server.
Yeah, it has a bad README.
Yeah.
This is an internal Meteor package. Yeah.
And Glasser is going to take the credit for the bad README because he's the last guy that touched it, it looks like.
I'm adding that to, we are doing checks on our methods, but am I doing it everywhere? I'm not sure. I just added the audit argument checks right here, live on the podcast.
Yeah, it'll yell at you if you're not using them. So
yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good
awesome.
Stuff.
All
right, guys. So this week we haven't had a lot of patron activity. Pulling it up now. See if I can get there fast. It's only 80 clicks to get in here. Yeah, actually, Matt M and Wade and Peter and I think Devin's new. All those guys have joined in the last week or so. So that's been awesome. That Slack chat room is going like gangbusters now.
What are you up to now?
There are 33 patrons total, and there are some other people in the Slack chat room as well. I don't know. It's been awesome to watch because a guy, literally Josh, came in there last week, 2 weeks ago, and he was just starting to learn Meteor, was a PHP dev, and within a week he built a full functional app that was outputting PDFs and invoicing people and all kinds of stuff. And he was asking a lot of questions in there, and a lot of people were helping. So it was kind of awesome to watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I just real quick, I got to tell you a story. I think we may have mentioned this on the podcast before, but Dove Dove, the VC that we share the office with.
Yeah.
He released an atmosphere package.
What?
That happened.
A VC released an atmosphere package.
Yes. So let's see. Let's pimp it for him. He probably doesn't listen to the podcast, but maybe he does. Meteorjs Dove Rosenberg / ad hoc reporter. So he's building like a reporter package that you do some configuration and it lets you like get reports from the Mongo database. Similar to like how Salesforce has an ad hoc reporter. So this could actually be useful to people.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you go, check his README. It's legit. It's better README probably than I've ever made. So
is it just outputting the data? It looks like it's outputting actual HTML here, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it does. If it does any, I guess that we should have put this on as an official topic. I just thought of it as you mentioned, newbies kicking ass in Meteor.
Nice.
Yeah, check it out. Maybe we'll talk about it next week if we can.
Yeah.
I want to install it. He asked me to install it, and I haven't done it yet. But.
Yeah, install and get a screenshot. Let's get a screenshot in this README. That'd be awesome.
I told him, "Are you ready to co-host the podcast? Because I think you are."
Nice.
See. Yeah.
Anyway. All right, man.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right, see ya.
This video has been a Meteor Club production. You can find out more information about Meteor Club and join the mailing list by clicking on the Meteor Club button below. If you enjoyed this video, you can also hit the subscribe button below and get more content like this. Thanks for watching.